From the NBA that's moving rapidly. Adrian Wojnarowski reporting today that in the wake of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George teaming up to head to the Clippers, Russell Westbrook has given the Thunder his blessing to indeed trade him away. Woj had reported that discussions between Westbrook's agent and the team had begun over the weekend about the former MVP's future. These days, we just keep a roving camera on Adrian Wojnarowski. Right now, he's joining us live from the Summer League in Las Vegas. Why is the situation, Woj, with Westbrook gotten to this point?
Al, the trade of Paul George to the Clippers for 5 first-round picks over the weekend, and the fact that Oklahoma City is no longer in championship contention, it's moved Russell Westbrook to let Sam Presti, their general manager, know that he welcomes this process of finding a trade for him. The two sides, Westbrook and his agent, Thad Boucher, and Sam Presti, they've been together 11 years. Russell Westbrook will go down, certainly is probably the most popular player in Thunder history, but both the team and Westbrook are ready to move on, and I'm told they'd like to try to find something sooner than later. They don't want this to drag out if they can help it.
Okay, so speaking of not wanting this to drag out, are you hearing anything about a potential timeline when we could see a done deal?
Well, it's going to be a complex trade because of the money owed Russell Westbrook. 4 years, $170 million. You know, not every team in the league's in position to be able to put a deal together to make the money work. One team that has interest, I'm told, in Westbrook, and the interest is mutual, are the Miami Heat. But having interest in a possible deal and being able to execute it are still going to be two very different things.
The Thunder already traded away Jeremy Grant. I think it's pretty rare, Woj. You'd probably agree that in the matter of 3 or 4 days, we've seen an entire franchise essentially resign themselves to the fact they are no longer a contender and they are in total rebuild mode. So the Thunder already have a ton of picks. And then, of course, there's a potential haul for Westbrook. They just got 5 first-round picks from the Clippers for Paul George and the right to swap picks with the Clippers in 2023 and 2025. So essentially, and I need you to listen to this, potentially OKC could have 13 first-round picks in the next 7 drafts. What? All right, you heard Carl mention it. Still to come on SportsCenter, Manic Monday at Wimbledon.
If he really had the power, he would have been the Lakers since last February. Instead of having to wait until this summer, where ultimately a new general manager or a new president of basketball operations were inserted into the mix, whose name was not Dell Demps, and instead it was David Griffin, the former executive with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who already had a relationship with Clutch Sports, LeBron James, Rich Paul, and everything, and that ultimately ended up with Anthony Davis going to the Los Angeles Lakers. But the power lied with New Orleans. And y'all missed it. And I'm going to tell you how you missed it. Forgive me, I don't remember whether it was, I think it was 2011. See, what you had was a collective bargaining agreement that was agreed to. Keep in mind, I've been covering the collective bargaining negotiations since 1995. I kind of go back a ways with this stuff. I'll leave the aficionado status to other people and stuff like that, but I know a thing or two about collective bargaining negotiations. And I pay attention to nuggets of information that some of you might lose or shove aside because it flies right over your head. Let me bring you back home. Stars are taken care of. Chris Paul gonna make $38 million next year, $41+ million the year after, $44 million at the age of 37. LeBron James getting a deal for $153 million, although he's worth much more. No question about that. But you need to understand something. It's incredibly important that you stomach this. While those stars get more money, there's not more basketball-related income dollars flowing in the direction of the Players Association. The money has stayed the same. It's just that the stars have more access to it, and middle-class dudes, like the Bogdanoviches of the world, have to toil around signing 1 or 2 year deals all the damn time, going to 4 different teams before he finally cashes in at Utah. He didn't cash in Washington. He didn't cash in Brooklyn. He didn't cash in with the Indiana Pacers. And over the course of these last several years, he's had to take risk after risk after risk. Why? Because the stars got paid. Once upon a time, you were signing deals, and the collective bargaining agreements stipulated that you really couldn't ink any deal that would take you past 36 years of age with these max deals and what have you. Well, conveniently, that number was moved up to age 38. Chris Paul's the president of the Players Association. When is he going to be making his $44 million? At age 37. When is LeBron James going to be making his $40+ million? Although he's worth more. But when is he going to be getting that money? Age 37. He's approaching 35. You see where I'm going? Are you paying attention? You got a pot. And the pot for the owner stays the same. Except that if you're a superstar with the capability of getting max or supermax dollars and taking up 30 to 35% of a cap, the money's going to that star player, but it's at the expense of other players. It's not at the expense of owners. The owners are still getting their pot. Period. Wake the hell up. See, it's when we sit up there and we stick at our chest and bloviate like we got power we really don't have that we get ourselves in trouble. You got the average Joe out there calling up to radio talk shows and all of this other stuff. I really got a problem with these players. I mean, my God, you sign an agreement, okay? And you sign an agreement, and damn it, you're supposed to be able to honor it, all right? I mean, who the hell are you? And they're stipulating, theoretically speaking, or if you take it verbatim, they're actually right. Because when you are a player and you sign a contract, unless you have a no-trade clause in that contract, the fact of the matter is you sign it knowing that a team has the right to move you if they so choose. You sign your contract knowing these are the stipulations that come with your contract. But as a player, there's nothing in your contract that stipulates you can sit up there and say, I want a supermax deal or a max deal, and I'm committed to you for the next 4 or 5 years, but the second something goes awry, you want out. There's nothing that stipulates that, which means that you don't have the power. The power belongs to the owners. Oh, I'm sorry. The governor of the team, because God forbid that we sit up there and we say owner in this day and age, which I personally think is idiotic. Listen, damn it. A owner does not own a player. But I see nothing wrong, by the way, with an owner saying, I own this team. Any more than you should have a problem with somebody listening to you say you own your house. It's not about the individuals that preside under the franchise tag, or it's not about the individuals living in a house. The property is yours. I had some family members over for barbecue, July 4th. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't own anybody in that house, but I owned everything in that house. And damn it, if I didn't want you touching something, if I didn't want you in a particular room, if I didn't want you damaging something, if I wanted you to take your damn shoes off and not roll dirt all over my house, it's my house. I own it. I don't own you, but I own it. The idiocy in this politically correct world that we're living in, where we got to literally have a discussion to the point where it becomes a media storyline. Oh, my God. An owner says he owns his team. That's offensive to people. Y'all smoking crack. Something is wrong with you people. What the hell has this world come to? If I purchased the New York Knicks, that does not mean I own R.J. Barrett. It does not mean I own Alonzo Trier. It does not mean I own Kevin Knox. But I'll be damned if I don't own that team. I am the owner. It is mine. I paid for it. If I own Madison Square Garden, does that mean I own everybody walking through Penn Station? Does that mean I own people who work inside of Madison Square Garden? No, it means I own the damn building. I have no problem with folks just sitting there saying we call them governors or whatever the case may be or whatever. But to actually create storylines where it's a problem with the word owners. I've always disagreed with Draymond Green about that. We got so many damn battles to fight. That's what we gonna fight? Well, I don't like the word owner. He ain't talking about you. He talking about the team. It's his team. You know how much money it costs to turn on the lights at the Oracle? Or at Madison Square Garden? How about the concession stands? How about the food that comes up in there? How about the sanitation workers, or the workers rather, that clean the building? No, you're not owning individuals, but you own the property. And there's an overhead rife with responsibilities that comes with it to take care of the property. And it's your responsibility to do it because it's yours. Why? Because you own it. How the hell do we not understand that? See, this is where people get in trouble. And that's why we have the state of affairs that exists in this world in politics and beyond, because we've taken things to such a damn extreme that you got millions of people out there going like this. Let's reel this back in. Something wrong with this picture. We actually had a debate about bathrooms a few years ago. Oh, why does it have to say male and female? Why is that? Because it's males and females. That's why. It's unbelievable. Everybody lost their damn minds. But I digress. Because far be it for me to just make common sense. Far be it for me to say something that just simply makes sense and is sensible. Because it might come across as offensive to people. I buy a team